Alright, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to do an update on the blood python breeding season. I wasn't too sure that these animals were going to really go this season that well for me. I thought maybe 1 to 3 animals I might get a clutch from, because we moved the collection in August from New York to PA, and usually when you move when you move your animals, that kind of messes up their cycle. But it looks like I have 5 girls in here right now that are ovulating, close to ovulating, or I've just missed it. So I'm gonna show you what's going on right now. Alright, so we're gonna start with this first girl. A little dark in that area. This is a female golden eye, 100% het T plus albino. I produced this girl. Come here. You can see how swollen she's looking. She's about to ovulate actually. Come here. I want to show you what you want to kind of look for. Like all of this right here. There you go. All of this is really hard. It's starting to swell up. Might be a little difficult to tell since blood pythons are pretty girthy. But once she fully ovulates, it'll look like she swallowed a football or an animal. It's really, really firm too, all of this. She's really uncomfortable too. Really nice looking animal. Let's see. Okay, there we go. All right. And this girl was bred to Pollen, possible het T plus albino. So that should be interesting. And for those of you that don't know what the pollen gene is, it's the incomplete dominant gene of the flower. So the flower is the super form. This girl here was also bred to the pollen. So you can see, if you look here, it's starting to look like a lump. Swollen, almost like she ate something, but she has nothing in there. And this is a magpie batic, also 100% het for T plus albino. So that should be pretty cool to see when we get that in the pollen. But I'm gonna show you a quick video on the super form of the pollen, which is the flower. Alright, so here's a flower, just to give you an idea. So, lots of possibilities with these animals when plugged into a lot of these other genes right now. So yeah, all of this is swelling up. She's really hard and firm. And they're kind of very stiff feeling. Alright, so that's, yeah, you can see now how swollen she's getting. Alright, so both of those bred to the pollen. Alright, the next one is this girl right here. This is a pixel, 100% het T plus albino. And this one I'm really looking forward to, probably more than the pollen, because this one was bred to a Toba. So the Toba is fairly new, just like the pollen. I mean, the genes have been around for a long time, but not really worked with too much. So the Toba, we don't even know what the super form looks like yet. So that's gonna be pretty interesting. But this girl, she's swelling right now. You can see all this really starting to swell up. And the pixel is, look at all that swelling. The pixel is a golden eye batic. Also 100% het T plus albino. There's going to be another one. It's looking really good too. Now this is a Batrix. This is actually a genetic stripe Batrix. So it's a stripe matrix Batic. And this one was also bred to the Toba. So in a second I'll show you what a Toba looks like. But really, really firm, especially right here. This one's a little more difficult to tell because she's a very big animal lengthwise and very lean. But all of this is starting to swell up. She's really a prime example of what you want a blood python to be. You can see the spine, very lean animal, very long too. She's pretty big. But yeah, she's really, really firm. So I think she's still building, but she's getting there. Alright, so for the next animal. Alright, so let me show you a Toba. So this one right here, the small one, is a Toba. And then that big girl right there, that's a Pollen. Really, really nice morph. Has a kind of like, I don't know, urban camouflage type of look to it. So it should be interesting to see what the super form's gonna look like. So right now I know they've been producing T plus albino and matrix it. And then I'm gonna show you the last animal that I think I missed the ovulation, or she's just right there. And this is the high white T-neg albino. So let's see, all of this is swollen. Yeah, you can see it. It's getting there. All right, so I'm really hoping this girl does well this year. She did go last year, and I think I missed the clutch maybe by a day, two days tops, and it seemed to have been a really problematic clutch for her. She kind of laid the eggs all scattered around. She didn't wrap them or anything, and then half of the clutch was slugs. Half was good, and then she was also egg bound with 2 eggs. So it looked like a really uncomfortable process for her. And then I did incubate I think it was like 7 good eggs, and I think it was just too late. They were rolled all over the place. They went bad. 1 egg made it. I'm gonna do an update on that baby, that male, but there is something different there. And the male has kind of like he looks like a traditional T-neg albino with almost with like a calico look. Like he has a lot of white freckling. So he's not high white like this girl is, but there's a good chance that maybe whatever she has going in other than the albino is she's possibly a super form of whatever that male is. And it's good that it is a male because I can always breed that boy right back to her. But we're gonna see how good she does this season. Hopefully I could catch these eggs and she's not, you know, too beat up from the process. And she was bred to the same male she was bred to last season, which was a T-neg albino, golden eye. So that should be pretty interesting to see what happens with those. You can see though, just how swollen. Then her scales are starting to separate a little bit. So I don't think she's full blown ovulation, but she's right there. And this animal is indeed redder than any ball python out there. Just absolutely insane looking. All this color. All right. So I'm gonna be checking on these girls every day, probably several times a day, see if I can catch that full-blown ovulation. This way I can post those on Facebook and Instagram. But y'all already know what it is. Hate, comment, subscribe. Till next time. Later.